Sometimes a shot is just so great that you don't need to be a film nerd to wonder how on earth did they film that. In this video, we'll go over some of the best shots taken in film and TV history. Today, we will uncover the best kept secrets of cinematographers, editors, directors, and actors that come together to pull off classic scenes. Let's dive right in. Hold on tight, you're in for a ride. Starting off with this mesmerizing meeting in Blade Runner. There are so many shots that we could have picked from this iconic 1982 sci-fi film. The tears in the rain monologue or the glass-breaking scene and many more. The whole film is a breathtaking experience complete with a sound design that deserves its own special mention. Although when Wired asked the director Ridley Scott about his favorite scene from the film, he picked the scene that he claimed he never cut because it was just too perfect. We're talking about the scene in which the protagonist of the film, Deckard, met Rachel, a machine disguised as a human. In that scene, their meeting for the first time, and Deckard was supposed to be amazed by her beauty. To make the viewer focus on her appearance, Scott made sure Sean Young's makeup was sharp, especially for her lips. He styled her after the late actress Hedy Lamarr. Next were her eyes. Being a replicant, her eyes had to appear different from the humans, so there was a special camera rig designed to shoot them. A half mirror was attached to the camera that reflected light onto Sean Young's eyes, making the pupils glimmer and appear golden. Those weren't the only mirrors that he used. Scott also scattered some mirrors on the ground with water on top, so in the scene you can see flashes of light appearing on the actors' faces. All of this makes this scene visually pleasing and surreal. Next up, we have a scene that looks impossible. This scene belongs to another sci-fi film called Contact, a lesser-known film that stars Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. It follows a scientist on a search for extraterrestrial life. A film with a plot like this has to have some otherworldly scenes. Well, that's exactly what director Robert Zemeckis gave us. Famously known as the mirror scene, it showed a young Ellie running upstairs to fetch her father's medicine in the bathroom cabinet. As she's running, the shot slows down and it's revealed that the whole thing was being captured inside the mirror of the bathroom cabinet. How on earth did they achieve such a mind-bending shot? Well, they did it by using two of these. The first shot was taken with a Steadicam that was operated by the great George Lunsgaard, who's worked on films like Minority Report and Drive. The camera was in front of the actress the entire time. The second shot, which showed her opening the cabinet, was filmed later. They just attached a blue screen instead of the mirror. The hand motions were matched in both shots, and in post-production, the second shot was flipped. All that was left to do was lay the second shot on top of the blue screen. For a film that was made in 1997, that's quite impressive. The entire scene gave us a weird feeling as if it were just insignificant being trapped in minor everyday objects. This is exactly what the film is all about. And now we've a scene from Mission Impossible. When you have an actor like Tom Cruise, who's willing to do anything and everything to get a perfect shot, your options are endless and borderline crazy. In Mission Impossible Fallout, there's a scene in which Ethan Hunt performs a high-altitude jump from an airplane. In any other action movie, you'd perhaps just get to see the back of a stunt double skydive or have another cameraman follow the stunt double. In this scene, we get to have a close-up shot of Tom Cruise as he falls from 20,000 feet up in the air. The audience witnesses the jump from start to finish, and at one point, it's almost as if the camera is about to collide with the actor. How did they manage to do all of that and not fail? Well, the scene was shot by a cameraman who had a camera attached to his helmet and had to fall back before Cruise followed. The two faced each other as they fell. The tricky part was they had to remain within 3 feet of each other at all times. How did they manage their speeds? There was a lot of training involved, of course. It took the actor and the cameraman over 100 rehearsals to prepare for the final shot. Cruise also explained that because it was a night scene, they had a very small window in which they film it. They could only manage a single take in one day. That's a lot of pressure if you ask us. It seemed that they finally aced it, as the scene definitely stands out from the whole film. Moving on to the classic scene from Jurassic Park. In today's world of CGI and VFX, you can't help but long for the good old days of when everything had to be made from scratch and wasn't all green screens. We're talking about actors screaming at real monsters constructed after hours and hours of hard work. That's exactly why Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park still gets kids jumping out of their seats when the first dinosaur appears. One of the most memorable scenes from the first film is when a T-Rex first appears on screen and chases the car our protagonists are in. What made it so special was how real and terrifying the T-Rex looked. That's because of the efforts of the special effects team. Stan Wilson, the man behind the Queen Alien in 1986 film Aliens, built 2 animatronic T-Rex models for that particular scene. Spielberg wanted the dinosaurs to look as real as possible, so the special effect team had a huge task on their hands building a life-size dinosaur. It's reported that it took about 20 puppeteers to handle all the animatronic dinosaurs. What made the T-Rex scene even more special was its movements. It moved quite smoothly without stopping or recoiling as a puppet would. For all of these efforts, Jurassic Park won Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, and the T-Rex scene has remained etched in our memories to this day. Then we have the hallway scene from Inception. You knew this scene had to be on the list. Watching it for the first time, the scene looks straight out of one of your crazy dreams. Well, that's exactly what it's supposed to look like in the film. In this famous scene from Inception, 2 characters are fighting in a hallway, but they are inside a dream, and the person who's dreaming all of it is in a car that's basically rolling down a slope. So the hallway in the dream also revolves, and 2 characters also fight it out in this epic sequence. Now, what went behind this revolving hallway scene? Well, it took Christopher Nolan's vision, special effects supervisor Chris Cortbold's instruction, and the actors in the scene to pull the whole thing off. Before the scene was filmed, the set took months to be built. The hallway was mounted inside a giant metal ring-like structure. The structure revolved, and so did the set inside it. The actors involved in the scene had 2 weeks of rehearsals to make the fight look real. While also balancing themselves inside the moving hallway, they're jumping off the ceilings and the walls. After that, it was all done by the camera. The cameras that were used to film the scene were all locked firmly inside the set. One of them was mounted while the other rotated along with the set. All of this resulted in a beautiful fight sequence that has stayed in our minds forever. Finally, the iconic bullet dodging scene from The Matrix. There's no surprise that this scene made it to this list, as it's inspired so many filmmakers to push the boundaries of movie making. In this scene from the 1999 film The Matrix, Neo and Trinity are ambushed on a rooftop with agents in his minions. When the agent fires his gun at Neo, he bends backwards and enters what's called bullet time. The scene shows him bending backward in slow motion as bullets fly above him. The camera then shows a 360-degree shot of Neo from all angles. Now, how did they manage to translate something as tricky as bullet time onto the screen? Well, it took a green screen and about 120 still cameras to achieve that effect. Let's make it simpler. The still cameras were all mounted on a rig surrounding the green screen room. Keanu Reeves performed the backwards bending stunt in the middle of the room, while all the cameras took shots of him from their individual perspectives. The pictures were then all stitched together to turn into one seamless 360-degree shot. That's a wrap for this video. Which scene from these iconic films is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.